Alright, I'm going to do a quick demo here of my arcade, starting with turning it on just by turning on the power bar, which will turn on the computer inside it and light up the marquee at the top of it. So the computer is going to take about a minute to boot up and get into the arcade software, so I'll just show you some other stuff. Like my controllers here, I've got 2 joysticks, each one with 7 buttons. I opted for that because lots of games have these standard 4 at the bottom, games like Metal Slug that I really like. And then lots of other games, like pretty much any fighting game, has the group of 6 over here. So I would just, on the games, either ignore that button or ignore the top 3. Each controller also has 2 white buttons above it, one that puts in a coin, one that starts. And then there's these black buttons in the middle that do things like save, load, bring up the options menu, pause the game, or exit the game. So Windows loaded, and then up pops Mala, which I'm using for the front end. I've got on here, as you can see, little sample marquees, sample videos for each game, a close-up of the controller that's on the actual arcade machine for each game, and then if I can find it, a poster or some other bit of info. So from here I can scroll through all my games, wait for a second, pictures and videos appear. Obviously this one I could not find the actual arcade pictures for. So if I move this left and right, it will switch between systems. So here's all my Nintendo games, do it again, here's all my Super Nintendo games, go back, and I'm at my arcade games again. So up and down just moves the menu up and down once. If I use the other controller, then it pops up and down by a full letter, which on the arcade it doesn't make that big of a deal because I only put 59 games on here, but for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, when I've got all of them over 1,000, that's pretty good. I also have, if I press, I think it's this button, it'll just pick a random game on there. So let's go pick one. I will go down here to Miss Pac-Man. If I hit the red button to open the game, then you might hear that little noise. That's the servos inside my joysticks changing. So it can tell which games only have 4 directions to move in and which have 8, and it'll actually restrict the controller from moving in 8 directions on a 4-direction game. Okay, so I'm going to back up and give you a better view of the full arcade. There it is. It looks pretty much just like a normal arcade, except obviously missing the coin door on the front. But one neat thing I made that I'm pretty happy with, if I push on the door, there's a magnetic thing in there, and there's my liquor cabinet, and also a little USB extension that I use if I want to put games on there or do a backup of my whole system. So I think that is pretty much it to show you. Oh, actually, if I hit the button here, I said to bring up the menu. Oh, I hit pause instead. If I bring up the options menu, again, all just using the joysticks, I can scroll through and change settings in the games, including the inputs. So if I didn't like the button layout, if I wanted to use these 3 instead of these 3 or whatever, I can go in here, again, just using the joystick and change everything. And you only need to do that once per game, and it remembers it from then on. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here. Oh, actually, I will start a new game of Pac-Man. I'll unpause it, start a game, put a coin in, hit start. I'll let him run for a second, or her run. Okay, exit. You'll notice when I reopen that same game, it starts in the exact same spot. And that's even if I turn off the full system and turn it back on, it will do that, which is basically just a way to save high scores. So whatever that score was at the top of Ms. Pac-Man is my all-time high score. Anyway, again, if I hit the exit button when I'm already on the menu, it offers to shut down the computer, hit that button to accept, wait a second, and boom, the whole computer turns off. So that's it. I want to play again. I just have to toggle the power on that power bar, and I'm up and running.